Hello everyone, Gomez here for LAN Up. We are again, it is that time in the evening where it is time for more cards. 13 more cards apparently, so let's just get into them. Who knows, we might see another champion, so let's get into them and see what we've got this evening. Ha-cha-cha-cha-cha. Oh man, it looks like it's going to be another champion. You know, like you look at a champion and you've got no idea, like, because I've never played League of Legends, so I've got no idea who the hell this is. I'm getting what looks like Shadow Isles vibes from this champion, but I've got no idea who the hell they are. Let's have a look.
I will bury the world in ice.
That sounded like Freljord. Using the word ice makes it sound this is going to be Freljord.
A dark cloud.
Okay, this is Freljord. this is Freljord. So, yep. So Lissandra is what I'm gonna go with here. So, wait, can you guys see that properly? That's because. There we go. So when I'm summoned a frozen thrall. I've summoned 2 allies that cost 8+. When I level up, create a watcher in hand. So number 1, we need to know what the hell a frozen thrall is. But her level up condition is you've summoned 2+ allies that cost 8 or more, which means that she can kind of work with Trundle, because Trundle obviously works with a lot of 8+ cards, as well as the fact that his ice pillar is an 8 cost, which then regenerates up to your mana up to 8 again. So therefore, like, you can easily work with that in the early game, because it does say you've summoned 2 allies that cost 8+. So they can be summoned. They don't necessarily have to be played. It just says that you've summoned 2 allies that cost 8+. So technically, a little bit of synergy with what is it? With Targon's peak. Which Targon's peak could be a potential thing that you could do here to like cheat that out early, because that is you play her on free. She's not got the best stats to live that long. I mean, obviously we don't know what the frozen thrall does. I kind of want to see what the watcher does as well. So let's go. She does have tough, so she will have like
On the horizon.
she should be a little bit harder to kill. But let's see what we get from this. But there is ways. I mean, it looks like Freljord is going to get a countdown landmark as well, which is quite nice. Maybe that creates 8+ units. So let's go. I mean, they've got a lot of them on the go apparently at the moment, and so it looks like it's going to be for a while. So you probably do get quite. So that's yet again something which could be used here, I'm guessing.
Feel the power of true
So through the power of true ice shard is what that looked like. That spell was called. So Ice Shard, deal 1 damage to everything. So yet again, synergies with Scargrounds, as well as the fact that it's one of those things. It's just additional removal for that region, right? Because obviously, like, you know, their main thing they've got is like avalanche and that, but it's a slow speed spell, and so the ability for a free cost to be able to do 1 to everything is quite good. Actually, we actually get to see some of these other cards as well. Like we've got an Entomb card, which is obliterate a unit and summon a frozen thrall in its place. But we'll get to that when we get to that. There's also something Inquisitor, but hopefully we'll get to that when we get to that. But I do like that. That's actually, it's really good anti-aggro material, like in terms of that, like discard aggro. Or the one thing I will say is that it goes against Heimer's bots. Heimer, my boy. But so here we go. So this is the Inquisitor. So when I'm summoned, so there's a lot of those. I'm guessing those are the frozen thralls, and those frozen thralls count down. I want more information on what the frozen thrall is going to be summoning. But it's a 5 cost, which it's 4/5. So it's okay stat line. Round's end. If the countdown of any of your frozen monsters is 4 or less, advanced. Okay, so he's actually got really good synergy with these abilities of making these frozen thralls. So number 1, he's giving you a frozen thrall, but number 2, if you've got others on the go, if they're at 4 or less, he immediately advances them to 0. So like so that does actually mean that if they count as 8 cost, like 8+ units, so it's going to actually really help that champion level up. And I want to see what they make, but we will see as we go on. So immediately dropping like, because this can actually be very valuable in this deck archetype. So immediately, right, so they are 8s and they're 8/8s, which is the level up. Oh, I just love, I love their level up animations. The development team has done such a great job. It looks like they've also got Overwhelm. Not only are they 8/8s, these Frozen Thralls are 8/8s with Overwhelm, and so that card and that, okay, and the fact that they also count as 8+ cards means that Trundle works for them in terms of once Trundle levels up, each of those is going to count towards gaining, like, granting him that additional attack stat upon his Overwhelm himself. So there's already synergy within its own region here that we can see happening. So your Nexus is tough when I'm summoned. I'm sorry, what? Your Nexus is tough when I'm summoned, summon a Firishi. So, does that legitimate... So, this is the first time we've seen anything that changes the Nexus in terms... Right, so, obviously you can heal your Nexus. You've always been able to heal your Nexus. But this is the first thing which is actually, like, altered the Nexus. So, what I mean by that is that yeah, again, I'm always going back to Hearthstone. Hearthstone had some cards that could interact with your Nexus's health, your health points. By it used to be able to, like, you could adjust them to go to 40 because it starts off at 30, and so there was a card that you could make your stats go to 40, or you could make if you used like Ice Block in Mage, it used to make it so that if you were about to take lethal damage, it stopped you from taking lethal damage. You couldn't take lethal damage that round. So this is like the first step, like, in terms of the fact that the Nexus can actually be affected in a way that can stop it from, like, taking as much damage as possible. So the fact that the Nexus becomes tough means it's gonna, like, because that is a big deal. That is honest to God a big deal. The ability, because when you think about the fact, like, that is every unit on the board is doing 1 less damage to your Nexus, as well as the fact that that means that literally any card that the opponent has where its attack stat is only 1, it's doing nothing to your Nexus. Like, think about that. Like, literally, like, if they built a big board of these, like, you know, elusive Poros, all 1/1s, like it's the fact that's so big. Like, I don't think they realize how big that is, but it's amazing to make your Nexus tough. So when I'm summon a Frozen Thrall, start of round, create a 0 cost, which it create a 0 cost Ice Shard in hand. So what's Ice Shard? That's very big. That's actually and the 8/8s with Overwhelm are amazing. I mean, what the fuck is that? What is that 7? Is that the Ice Shard? What? Wait. So, start of round, create a 0 cost. That's not. That can't be that, because it definitely costs more than 0. When summon an Ice Thrall to make the next. So what is this 17/7 like? That's the Watcher. That is the Watcher, because obviously in her first bit it says that she... But the fact that makes... Look at that animation. The fact that the Nexus gets given tough. That is ridiculous. Oh, crap. That is not... I've gone too far. So... Yeah, so we got to see this, and then this is them going into the Entomb. So, obliterate a unit and summon a Frozen Tomb in its place. So, you can actually use this on the other side of the field. So, it's just like, what does the Frozen Tomb mean? Because you can either do this, because you can use this basically on an opponent. So, use that there.
All things succumb to
Okay.
the cold.
So, it becomes... So I'm going to assume that is like the reversal of the Shurima landmark, whereby the Shurima spell, whereby it gives you like the hourglass thing, which gives it so that you can make something on your side of the field come back. So that is making something your opponent's side of the field locked in ice and not coming back for 2 turns. That locking out an opponent's unit is actually, or champion in this effect, is actually quite a powerful move.
Frost gather.
Very powerful move. Did we already see this spell? Oh, that was the 1 damage. That was the ice shard, which we... So that's what she makes. Sorry, the ice shard, the fleeting 0-cost ice shard is a 1 damage to everything, meaning that there is potential Scarground synergy. She already has tough herself, so therefore that's not doing anything to her. But with Scarground, I want to know what the Watcher does. Just let me know. Just let me know what the Watcher does. We wait. But let me see that lovely big 17 cost card. The animations are on point. The animations are 100% on point. Okay. We already know this one. So I can only assume that this card is if you play an 8 cost or something like that, because obviously a lot of the other synergies work with 8+. Does that mean that because that is upon playing that unit, that immediately goes down to 0? So where's it? Right. I cost 0 if you've summoned 4+ which are allies that cost this game. So it doesn't even require you to have it's just literally you cost 0 if I've done that this game, like 8+ units, which, let's face it, yet again, Trundle's what's his face? Fululu's pillar counts 1 towards that, but also gets you back 8, so you can then play another 8 cost potential like this. Oh my god, the synergies that could be happening with this. Attack, obliterate. I'm sorry. Obliterate the enemy deck. So we've already seen this before with Malachi or Tree Man, like where he blew it, but he leaves you 4 cards. This looks like that is leaving your opponent no cards. It has to attack first, so obviously there is certain things that you could do. You could hush this, you could vengeance this. There's certain things you could do, but that is big. This is unbelievably, amazingly big. Oh, Freljord's going to be so unstoppable, isn't it? So, survive the icy landscape to obliterate your opponent's deck. So, because bear in mind, that is also a win condition. You obliterate your opponent's deck. If they've got no cards in it, then that literally just means that is the next time you draw. That isn't like, if that, whether or not this card does lethal or not, that is an end of game card, because literally the second that gets played, yeah, this champion might be a little bit too insane.
Last they awaken.
Okay. Oh, the anime. Yep. So that is just the deck gone. I mean, let's face it. If you've got to that point, you're staring down so many of those 8 ice widget, those ice falls that have become 8/8s with overwhelm. You're staring down so many of them. Plus, like, if you can survive that, your deck is gone. I think that you just know, you know what? It's done. At that point, you've got to know this. I think that's the end of the video, but my god, that's an insane champion. That is a champion you are going to have to fucking deal with, because if you don't, it is done. So bear in mind, so you've summoned 2+ allies that cost Vimashigi, so it doesn't even say that she has to witness them being summoned. It is literally that you've summoned them, which through these ice pillars and frozen thralls, that is very easily done. She has the ability to make it harder to kill you. That's too many things. That's insane. This champion might be a bit crazy, but I'm loving it. I'm gonna love to see how this ends up shaking up the meta, because that's just insane. Let's see whether or not there's any more cards that we missed that got revealed on Mobalytics. But my god, like that's too much. Even I'm thinking, Mike, how can they do this? Okay, yep. So, and the Entomb is actually her champion spell as well. So that is okay. So that's so stupid. Frozen Tomb is the landmark that it creates on the other side of the board. Summon the exact copy of the obliterated unit that I replaced. So it's just meaning that, like, that's it's basically the same as that one that, as I said, that Shurima has that you can do on your side. So Frozen Thrall is actually a landmark that you can just play on one cost. So another one cost landmark with Countdown. I'm assuming we're going to see this with all of the regions, like a cheap Countdown landmark, which is going to be to give you something like a potentially good. So we know that that goes into an 8/8 with Overwhelm. It has to count down for 8, but also the Inquisitor just immediately, if that is down enough, just goes hup and puts himself on the board and means that those all go down. So that is what the Thrall is, which is the Frozen Gate Thrall, which is the which is like a 8/8 with Overwhelm. Thing that we saw, so we didn't get to see. So there's another landmark for Freljord, which is the Blighted Ravine. When I'm summoned, heal your Nexus for 2. Countdown 1, deal 2 damage to everything. So upon summoning that on 4, you're immediately healing your Nexus, and then you're going to be doing 2 damage to it in one more turn. You're going to be doing 2 damage to it anyways. It does say to everything, meaning that damage that you've just healed, it's really a heal for 2, because the second that round ends, that is then boom, just going immediately doing 2 damage to your Nexus anyway. So I mean, I can get it, because obviously it's at least meaning that your Nexus is slightly more secure, but it is going to be doing 2 damage there. Three Sisters, nice looking 1 mana burst speed spell. Create a fleeting flash freeze. I mean, so it's the choice, right? Create a fleeting flash freeze, which you know is a 3 mana, freeze something on the board, like freeze anything on the board spell. You can create a Fury of the North, which is the +3/+4 spell, or Entomb, which is the 5 mana, the one that we've just seen here. So you get the choice. Bear in mind it's fleeting, so you need to basically like make sure you've got the mana to know what you're playing, what you want to be playing, because if you don't, then it's fishy. But it is good. Like Three Sisters, it's obviously like referring to the fact that all these ice, so Ash, Sejuani, and this new one, which is Lissandra. So it's quite nice. Very nice art and very nice idea to combine all of their champion spells into one, like, and just a 1 mana burst speed. But obviously the crux of it is that it's only going to be fleeting, so you've got to be careful when you use it. Cold Resistance. Get an empty mana crystal and grant an ally plus. So this is just additional ramp. This is kind of like the what is it, the catalyst or whatever it's called, crystal thing, which basically heals you for free and then gives you a mana crystal. But this one is the same cost and it's the same, which it burst speed and whatnot, but this one is just going to be giving you that mana crystal, but instead of healing your Nexus, it's going to be giving a unit extra stats. So it kind of like it opens up those options. And let's face it, Freljord is definitely the ramp region, and with cards like this, it's completely understandable. So I can already see archetypes that can come out of this, which are, but it's insane. The second that you get that Watcher, this is a card you have to deal with. That's the reason why its stats aren't, like, you know, too crazy, but it's still enough stats that can get through a number of things. And literally it just has to get to that point where it's just like boom, levels up, the Watcher immediately goes in hand. And to be fair, she can die at that point. Once the Watcher's, like, once she levels up, once the Watcher's in hand, this guy only has to see you summon 4 allies that cost 50, which if you've already leveled her up, you're already halfway there. And then just that's the fact that it goes down to costing 0 is yet again. Can I just state that one of the first things that I said that would be really funny to do with her would be to play her in a Targon's Peak deck. You can get this guy out before even summoning Fear Machines, because of Targon's Peak. No, you can't do that. You can't do that, but that is insanely funny. I cannot wait to have fun with these cards. This is insane. Who watches the Watcher? Who watches the Watcher? But honestly, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed your time. And these were insane card reviews. I can see This is so powerful. Let me know what you think down in the comment section down below. If you've got any ideas or things, this bit is insane. Any ideas what that you've got, please let me know. Also, shameless plug time, Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram. If you didn't know, I stream on Twitch on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, UK time. So the times on that, which are on the LAN Up Twitch page. There is also the Discord link down below if you want to get in and start talking about this crazy shenanigans, as well as the fact that obviously if you want to check out, this was actually the perfect top to be wearing today, wasn't it? Sorry about that, but this was actually the best top to be wearing today. This is the Ash Sejuani Freljord's Frozen widget things. That was actually not intended. That has just happened as luck. But thank you so much for watching. As I said, like, if you want to check out that merch link is down below, but do not feel forced. These are just like options for you. But honestly, thank you all so much. I hope that you have a great evening, day, or whatever it is for you. Until next time, we will get to see more cards. Bye.
From flash of brilliance that could save me. Save me! That doesn't save me. Okay. Is there anything from you? Save me. That doesn't save me! Okay. Get rid of this and get rid of this. Find something that can save me.